everybody, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Shay and I am a full-time reseller on the Poshmark app, and I do lots of thrift related content as well as some fashion and lifestyle stuff. If you're into that sort of thing, don't forget to subscribe, and I am gonna go ahead and start with today's video. So for today's video, it's gonna be a little bit different. I know a lot of us are currently going through some serious thrift withdrawals because a lot of us are really into thrifting and it's really been very hard. I haven't been thrifting in, I think this week makes 2 months since I've been thrifting. And that has to be a record for me because I go thrifting at least twice a week usually, sometimes more. So I was thinking about it, and I was thinking about all of the brands that I would really like to find once the thrift stores open back up again. So I thought, let's put a little list together, and I'm going to share with you guys my top, I think I have 12, my top 12 brands that I would love to find at the thrift store once we can go thrifting again. And these might be ones you don't know, so if you don't know them, I highly suggest looking them up. A lot of them are really high dollar amounts as far as reselling goes, but I just really like the styles. They're very bohemian, and I would just love to find them even just for my own closet. So number one is going to be Doan. Doan is a beautiful brand. I think that they're Swedish. Don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. However, they have beautiful pieces. Everything's very like 1970s, 1960s inspired. They have really pretty kind of vintage tops. They have beautiful dresses. I just love the style. They have great sweaters too. And their stuff right now is super hot. So if you find a piece like that at your thrift store, count your lucky stars because they're extremely expensive new. And so that's the first one on my list. Second one is Cezanne or Cezanne. I'm not sure how to say that, but that is another brand that's really trendy right now. It's another brand that has a very like vintage feel to it. There are lots of beautiful like small floral prints and lots of feminine shapes. This style is really good for somebody who's looking for a timeless minimal wardrobe as well. There are just some really great classics in there. There's a lot of beautiful lace work, and their bags are really great too. They have really good quality stuff. So that's another one I hope to find at my thrift stores. And then next is actually one that I have found in the past once, but I would love to find some more. This is Spell and the Gypsy Collective. This one's one you guys are probably familiar with. They have beautiful bohemian stuff. Everything is like heavily patterned. They have really gorgeous, beautiful dresses. I had found a bralette by them, and it sold secondhand it was in really good condition, but it sold secondhand for $78. And that was just a bralette. The dresses and the skirts and stuff can go, depending on what they are, for between $150. Some of them are all the way up to $500 and $600. It really depends on the print and whether or not it was a specific line. They have some that are rare, and those ones are fantastically priced. So that's one that you can always look out for. They have really cute stuff, so I highly recommend them. But I would love to find like an actual dress or something. That would be fantastic. And then next is Grlfrnd Denim. Grlfrnd Denim is another one that's a blogger favorite. It's really popular. I haven't been able to find any personally yet, but I love the styles. They're like really known for that high-rise vintage button fly style. So they basically look like vintage Levi's, but they are really good quality, and I would really love to find a pair. So that one's on my list. And then next is actually a vintage brand. This brand is a vintage brand from the 60s and 70s, and I have recently discovered them and fallen in love with their pieces. The brand is Biba, and Biba is a brand that I believe it started in England, but they used to be a huge department store. They were like Macy's but times 10. They had their own line of pretty much everything, and they had their own nightclub. So anything by Biba is like basically gold as far as like a boho style. They have some really great pieces. I love their vintage jackets. I would love to find one of their dresses. And this stuff holds its value. You're looking at like thousands of dollars for some of these pieces. So I would love to find a Biba piece. Not really to sell, but for my own personal closet, just because I would love to have one of those pieces. But also, if you're looking for a great brand to resell that's a vintage brand, that's one. And then I have Stone Immaculate. Stone Immaculate is another really great boho sort of 70s inspired website. I don't believe they have actual stores. I think it's just online. Don't quote me on that. I really love their stuff. They have some really cool vintage jeans. Well, vintage looking. They're like vintage reproduction. But they have some really great pieces, and they're super hard to find. I have not seen any on Poshmark. I've been looking, and I have not seen any. So if you find this brand, this is definitely like a bolo brand. So I would love to find that at my thrift store. And then next is another one I recently discovered, which is 9 Lives Bazaar. 9 Lives Bazaar is kind of like Spell and the Gypsy. It's very bohemian, lots of beautiful like psychedelic prints, and everything is very like almost like Woodstock inspired, which I love. So this is another brand that the dresses are like $300, and I would highly recommend to try to source these, and I would really love to find it at my thrift store. Another brand that I really love and I would love to find is actually a designer brand, and I think it's pronounced Etro, but it's Etro anyway, and they are out of, I believe, Italy. They are a beautiful boho brand. They have lots of really great, very, very elaborate pieces. I loved their runway show from this past year, this past spring. They did all these beautiful, like, flowy scarves and all these beautiful intricate patterns. They did all kinds of great stuff with like vests. Very, very 1960s, 1970s. I just love that style, and I would love to find a piece by them. Next is Rolla's. Rolla's is sometimes sold at places like Revolve or Free People. They are primarily denim. They have really great high-rise vintage like 70s inspired denim flares, and they have like a triangular pocket. What is that? A triangle pocket. So they actually are super flattering on, and like I said, they're super high rise and they really hold their value. You're looking at like $150 secondhand. So I would love to find that brand. Then I have Double D Ranch. Double D Ranch is another one that is really great for reselling. Double D Ranch has some really great Western inspired stuff. They have great leather goods, and I just love their stuff. They hold their value. Some of the jackets are like elaborately priced, and honestly, like rightfully so. They're made out of real leather. They have all kinds of detail work, and I would just really love to find a piece. Then I have Lack of Color. Lack of Color is a little bit of a lower end on this list as far as price goes, but I really love their hats, and I would really love to find one just to resell or to keep. I think that their hats are really stylish and timeless, so I would love to find that brand. And then lastly, I have Stone Cold Fox. Stone Cold Fox is another boho brand. I'm probably just going to label this video as like boho brands I'm looking to find, because basically all these brands are bohemian style or like vintage like 1960s, 70s, but Stone Cold Fox, obviously the name kind of says it all. It's like 70s inspired, 60s inspired, and I just really love their pieces as well. They're very vintage looking, and that's kind of my vibe. So those are all the brands that I am looking to thrift, hopefully soon. Hopefully we can be allowed back to the thrift store very soon. Where I live right now, we are looking at the beginning of May. It's the middle of April right now, so we're looking at the beginning of May for being off our mandatory lockdown or like stay-at-home order or whatever it's called. So hopefully we can kind of get back to normal shortly. I know that in some places like New York and stuff, the numbers are still pretty high, like super high, honestly. And I'm lucky enough to live in a smaller area where there aren't very many cases, and I think that that will play into whether or not my stores open up sooner. But either way, I will be wearing a mask from now on for the foreseeable future when I go out, just to be safe. Just to be safe. So, but anyway, enough of my rambling about the current situation. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned some new brands. If you did, go ahead and like, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!